Hello class, my name is Cassandra LaRatondo, and the book that I chose for our modern fantasy discussion this week is called Savvy. It is by Ingrid Law, and I chose this book because it is a low-level fantasy book, and so it was very believable as the characters were going through their adventure. Savvy is about a family that all has a savvy. Everyone in this family has like a superpower. One of the characters, Fish, he makes hurricanes. The other character, Rocket, conducts electricity. And our main character, Mibs, is just turning 13, and she's about to develop her savvy. So after her father gets into a car accident, she believes that it is destiny that her savvy is something that can save him. She doesn't know what it is yet, though, so she goes on a bus ride from where she lives on the border of Kansas and Nebraska to Salina in Kansas to go and see if she can help him. The first criteria of the modern fantasy book is setting. According to our text, stories considered to be low fantasy take place in the real world, but magical elements of fantasy make them impossible. And that is what our story is here. It is a low fantasy book because it takes place on the border of Kansas and Nebraska. That is where the Beaumont family is from. They explain that they moved there because when Fish, our main character's brother, turned 13, we moved to the deepest part inland because of the hurricane, and of course the fact that he had caused it. Okay? So our setting describes a realistic world in something that is very believable, other than the fact that there are fantasy and magical aspects about it. The next aspect about modern fantasy is the plot. The text states that the events that occur have to be both imaginative and logical. The imaginative aspects include the fact that the Beaumont family had to move where they live now in Kansas/Nebraska because her brother caused the hurricane. Mibs believes that her power can save her father. They get to the hospital, and Mibs realizes her savvy is the fact that she can talk to things as they sleep, and sometimes it wakes them up. The logical aspects, or more realistic aspects of the book, include the weather is the reason that they moved. Their father is in an accident, then a coma, and Mibs wants to go see him. They arrive at the hospital, and then their papa finally wakes up. So there are both imaginative and logical aspects that create almost two plots going on at the same time. Characters are the next criteria for the modern fantasy evaluation, and the text states that the characters must act logically and consistently throughout the story. And we see that clearly through our character Mibs, whose only goal is to get to Salina to save her papa. She gets on a bus with her brother Fish and their friends from the church, and that is her only mindset, is to get to Salina. Other than Mibs, there is Fish on the bus with her, and he doesn't trust any of the other friends they meet from church, Will and Bobby, to know about their savvies. And this distrust stems from the fact that when he caused the hurricane in their previous town, they were pretty much outlawed. The writing style in Savvy is very informal. It is told from Mib's point of view. So everything she says, everything she thinks, everything she feels, you know directly. And this allows the reader to develop a very clear image of what Mibs is going through and what the other characters relay to her. The final aspect of a modern fantasy book is the theme, and the reader should be able to connect the theme to their own lifestyle. And in Savvy, the most prevalent theme is the theme of family, not only in the Beaumont family, but in Will's family, in Bobby's family, and the other people they meet while Fish and Mibs are on the bus. Everybody seems to have something with their family going on, whether it be struggle, whether it be acceptance, or an internal conflict of trust between the family. That is what the reader has to relate to.